friends, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Ellie Lee and this is Idieh Designs. In today's tutorial, we're going to be making a faux leather necklace using a template in Cricut Design Space. But as usual, before we get started, we'll go over the items that we'll need for this project. And don't forget to take a look at the description box below, and you'll also see the items listed there.
The first thing you'll need is your cutting machine, and for today's project, I'm going to be using my Cricut Maker. You're also going to need your faux leather, a cutting mat, a pair of scissors, a pokey tool or tweezers for me. I'm going to also keep my X-Acto knife handy in case I need that. Any type of fabric glue, I'm going to use a Fray Check. And then I'm also going to be using a cotton braided cord, but you can use any cord that you see fit for this project. And lastly, if you've got those extra buttons, take them out because this would be a great time to use them.
So now that you know what you'll need, let's go ahead and get started in Cricut Design Space.
For this project, we want to go ahead and take a look at the templates that Cricut Design Space has available. So we're going to go over to projects on the left-hand side, and then we're going to go to the search box on the upper right and type in faux leather. Click search, and you'll see that a lot of different options come up that relate to the material faux leather. You will just scroll through them, pick what you like, and I had already looked at some of these earlier today, so I selected the faux leather necklace. Let me just see where it is here. There it is. Okay, so now once you select the project, you're going to see that there's typically different pictures included. You can swipe over or click on the arrows to go to the next photographs. And then you can also scroll down through the actual description itself, and it'll provide you the sizes, a description, any materials that you'll need, how to cut and assemble, and a lot of times there'll be helpful articles or links that you can also go to with instructions, and images or fonts that are used are typically included there as well. But for this particular one, we have everything that we need. We don't have to customize it. So we're gonna go ahead and click on the Make It. And just before we do that, I wanna show you here, it also provides you with the level that the project is. So for example, easy or difficult, but this particular project is listed as easy, and it states that it should take less than 30 minutes to complete it. You'll also have the option to print the information in the description box as well if you'd like to. So we're gonna go ahead and click on Make It, and that's going to bring us to our screen where we see our cutting mat. And all we really need to typically do when we're in this screen is make sure that the images that we're printing or cutting fit onto the cutting mat that we have. If we need to mirror it, we would do that here on the left-hand side. But for this project, we don't require that. So we're gonna go right over to continue, and it's going to connect to our Cricut machine from here. So once your machine has connected, it'll prompt you to set the base material. So we're going to click on the Browse All Materials because I don't have it listed in my favorites right now. We'll click on the search box and enter faux leather. For anyone that can hear that crunching, that's actually my little pup Chico who is eating his food right now. So he's in the background. But back to the project, we'll click on the faux leather, and here you can actually click the little star, which I'll just do that now, and that will set it in my favorites so that next time it'll already be in that selection. We'll click done, and then it's gonna prompt us to our tools. And I'm just gonna go back to the base set so that you can see here how it added the leather or the faux leather to my favorites selections, which you can house up to 12 here. If you do try to add another one, it'll just ask you to remove one in order to add the new one that you're wanting to put in there. So we'll just click on that again, and we're going to keep the default pressure on there. And we're gonna go right over to our machine so we can load our mat. And once we've done that, it'll prompt us to click on the little Cricut button. When placing the faux leather on our cutting mat, we wanna make sure that we put it face up and lay it nice and flat. And once we've done that, we'll go ahead and put it into the Cricut cutting machine, hit the double arrows, load it once the Cricut button starts flashing green, and watch it cut. So now that it's all finished cutting, you'll unload it, and then we're gonna bring it over to the table to weed it out. Now, the one thing that I noticed, the very first thing I noticed, was that it didn't cut all the way through my faux leather. That could have been because I didn't have enough pressure. And one thing you can do is hit the C again and it'll cut right over the same cutting, but you have to do it before you unload the mat. Otherwise, it'll cut in a different area. But I took my X-Acto knife and I just cut through or right along the side of the design and was able to release some of those strips. It was just the first two, and after that it was really easy. Next, I grabbed my tweezers and used it as sort of a pokey tool so that I can get through the holes in the little strips of faux leather and just remove the little cutout. So I took that out on all of the strips in preparation for getting our cords strung through them. So at this point, all I want to do is go ahead and line up my shapes so they go from big to small or small to big, so that I am prepared to go ahead and start stringing them with my cord.
Okay, so while I was doing this project, I thought that this would be super simple, which it is. However, I decided to not even look at the directions again or even the actual photograph of the necklace, and I started putting the pieces together. So you'll see here that I actually put the pieces in backwards. So I put the larger pieces on the top and the smaller piece on the bottom, which really didn't do anything for the look that we were trying to create here. So I had to take the pieces apart and then redo it again. I also forgot to flip the outside piece so that the leather or the faux leather, the red would actually be showing, or the front part of it, not the backing of the leather, so you can see like the underside, which is a little bit fuzzy, if you will. So I had to take it apart again and then rebuild it one more time. So this happened a couple of times, but it didn't take very long at all. So if it happens to you, no big deal. Just cut the cord if you already knotted it and restring it again.
All right, so now it's time to break out the fabric glue, or the Fray Check in my particular case, and I used it to add a little glue to the knots that I created just for stability and to make sure that they didn't come apart. I also added some knots at the very top where the small pieces are because I felt like it kept it from shifting so much. Now, the original project doesn't call for a button, but I wanted to add that just to be able to facilitate putting it on or off, but you can always put it on over your head. But here's where we'll add the button and also create the loop that will go over the button to make sure that it holds it securely in place. And of course, I also added some of the Fray Check, or if you're using fabric glue, you can use that on these knots as well.
So here it is, our faux leather necklace. This is a really great, easy project. Definitely a great beginner's project, or if you have children at home, this is a great project for them to also embark in, because it's something they can not only make, but they can wear and feel proud of. They can gift it and feel very proud that they've made something that they're gifting to someone. And so I encourage this little project for children to start off with as well. Please, I look forward to your feedback. If you like the video, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell to make sure that you receive a notification every time I upload a video. I upload weekly and you definitely don't want to miss that. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next time.